Interesting things. Okay, so my name's Vanessa, if you guys don't know me. So what we're going to do tonight, just kind of a little overview, is just talk to you a little bit about each of our stories with coaching, how we got started, why we love it, whatever brief little thing we feel like we want to share. And then each of us are going to kind of touch on one aspect of either what we do, how we do it, or why you shouldn't be worried about trying to do it. So just a little background on me. I've been a coach for a little over 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years at the end of January. And what do I want to say about that? I had been doing Beachbody programs for probably like 3 years before I started coaching. And I kind of knew that coaching was a thing, but didn't really know that much about it. And so to back up even a little more, I kind of have always been like a fitness maniac. Shan can kind of attest to that because we've been friends since college. And it, like, almost to the point of it not being healthy, right? Like, it's like an obsession a little bit. And I moved to Utah. We got married and I moved to Utah, and I was in this really weird place with like jobs and houses and things. And I didn't feel like I could spend money on a gym membership. And so, true story here, I actually had my husband download Insanity off the internet. We stole it from some sketchy downloading thing. And I loved it. I totally loved it. I had him steal P90X after that. And I started P90X. And I really couldn't, so we lived in this tiny apartment. I was doing that a little bit, but I really like needed to lift weights. I felt like I couldn't not go to the gym, even though I loved these programs, because I needed to lift weights. So I was at some point in that period of stealing programs off the internet, I also ended up getting a gym membership. So I was kind of doing both of them. And then I found a program called Chalene Extreme. And I don't think I even realized that all of these programs were Beachbody programs when I was doing them. I just had like kind of heard about all these programs. And so I just started doing them. So I found Chalene Extreme, which is a weightlifting program. And I was like, oh, this is freaking awesome. I can lift weights at home. And I had a little bit before that just had a baby. And my husband's a teacher. And so he was leaving for work ridiculously early, and so he had to leave our house at like 6:15. So in order for me, I am not an afternoon workout person, especially after I had a kid. I just couldn't do it because I felt like I was being neglectful if I came home from being at work all day and then worked out. So I had to get it done early. Not that you're neglectful if you do that. That's just how I felt. I'm not judging anyone. But so I had to get it done early, and in order to get it done before he had to leave for work, I had to get up at like stupid early, and I just wasn't willing to do it anymore, and I couldn't do it. And at that point, all those workouts were like an hour long. Now my workouts are much shorter than that. Anyway, so I found Chalene Extreme. It kind of made me realize or accept that I could quit the gym, and I did. And so I started doing programs just at home. And then I finally admitted, sorry, I was supposed to be short, and I'm never short. I always end up talking too much. But I finally, at some point, I was frustrated because always for my whole life, I've had this attitude, I'll just work out more and then I can eat whatever I want. I'll just work out more and I can do whatever I want. And then I finally was like, no, nothing is happening. I'm doing all of these super intense programs and I'm kind of just staying exactly the same where I've been. I'm not seeing any changes, and I should. And so for the first time really ever, I was like, okay, I'm going to really dial in my nutrition. And so I did T25 about a year after my son was born, and I followed the meal plan pretty strictly, and I lost 5 pounds for the first time ever in my life, really. And I was like, oh crap, really? It's kind of how I felt, like, crap, now I have to actually follow this nonsense because I know that this is what's making the difference is my diet. And so shortly after that, New Insanity was coming out. I had kind of started, one of my friends from growing up, his wife, who's now my coach, Tiffany, was coaching and was super successful. And I saw these posts about how he didn't have to work anymore because she was doing so well in her fitness business. And I thought, you know, I already love these programs a ton. I'm already telling people about them all the time. So I should just try coaching and see how it goes. And so here I am. So that was kind of a long story to why I'm here, but that's it. And I started as a thief, and now I I totally wholeheartedly believe and love these programs, and kind of just became a huge raving fan, and that's why I decided to start coaching. I'll get into kind of what's changed in my motivation for coaching a little bit at the end, I think, but that's kind of how I got to where I am. So the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick is just kind of what we do, the real basics as coaches. So there's something that we call the 4 vital behaviors. And these are things that we do every day that are really simple, just parts of our life that help us help other people. And so the first one is being proof the products work. So this is really easy if you come into this business as a really big fan and you already love these things. And that's how most people come into it, not everyone. Some people come into it just looking at the business opportunity, and that's where they start from, not really having with the products. But most of us, we start with the products and then decide we want to help other people because we love them so much. So being proof the products work. So doing a fitness program, working on your nutrition, things like that. The second one is personal development, which I was kind of slow to really, really get on board with. And now it's like total game changer for me. So personal development basically is taking time, 10 minutes to an hour to 3 hours, whatever time you have every day, to read or listen to something that uplifts, motivates, inspires, and educates you. So whatever you feel like you need to be working on. And this one's super powerful because I think as a coach, it's really important that you, your tank is full, so to speak, so that you're able to help other people work on the things that they need to. And so it's really easy to kind of get stuck in people turning you down, because that happens, or to not feel like you're making progress in your own journey, because that happens. And it's just really easy to get those negative thoughts and voices in our heads. And so having that personal time every day to really focus on making yourself better and being positive is really important. The third one is invite. And we invite to lots of things. We invite people to free groups that we're running. We invite people to groups where they've what we call challenge groups, so where they've bought a program and we're helping coach them through that program. We invite people to the coaching opportunity, like we did with this call, and excuse me, any number of other things. Basically, we are a big part of our job and how you're successful at this job is inviting one-on-one to people, talking to them and letting them know about the opportunities that you have that can help them. It doesn't feel salesy. I know a lot of people are worried getting into this that they're gonna make everyone hate them, right? So we do lots of training on how to talk to people, how to present yourself, how not to present yourself, so that you're not that person showing up in everyone's feed that's like, buy my Beachbody stuff all the time, because everybody hates that person. So we don't want to be that person. It's not fun for anyone. And really, we're working on inviting, building relationships and connections so that we're able to meet the needs that people have, not force our needs on them. And then the last one of these vital behaviors is to recognize or celebrate our accomplishments. So we like to recognize a lot in our challenge groups when people are doing great. There's a lot of celebration for those great accomplishments. And we recognize people on our teams. There is so much support within the team, our little team, and then our bigger teams. We do a lot of recognition and support and uplifting, and just helping people along. We share all kinds of resources, which I didn't really expect coming into this. And we just help each other recognize and celebrate each other. So those are the 4 vital behaviors, my little story. And then I think, Shanna, were you going next? Is that right? Okay. So now Shanna's going to give us her thoughts.
All right. I apologize in advance. My husband's putting my son to bed by himself for the first time with me being home, so there might be some screaming happening. So I'll start with my story of how I became coach. I won't be nearly as long-winded as Vanessa. You're great. So I started being a coach about a year ago, and I started actually with Vanessa bugging me so many times to be in a challenge group, and I joined one of the challenge groups and actually followed a program, just the fitness, not the nutrition, but saw these great results even with just that, and really enjoyed the challenge group. And I, as my background is in athletic training and being in physical therapy and being a MELT instructor and leading like group classes and having private clients like that, I was kind of used to doing something like that anyway. And I thought, well, this is really neat. I could probably do this. And I've really liked the Beachbody programs. I think the first program I bought was in 2006. It was Slim & Six. Then I got Insanity, and then I got P90X. I only ever did like 2 weeks of the programs. I never did them like full out, but I was like, oh, these will be great to be in my like little drawer of things I can do at home. So I loved the products. So I was like, I'll do this. I signed up. And then I kind of had to take a step back because it made me really realize what I wasn't doing one of the vital behaviors. And that was being proof of the product. I couldn't motivate myself enough to consistently work out. And I knew that was an issue with me always. And, but what being a coach was, especially with that personal development, it kind of pushed me and gave me the reason to figure out what was going on. So I spent a few months really digging into me and figuring out what was going on with me, and kind of pushing past the big roadblock, which I've considered in my life. So I was able to jump back in once I've kind of gotten these healthier habits a little bit more instilled. And I feel like I'm past a point in my life of a lot of repetition of not finishing programs and just going on these big roller coasters. And I always knew that this business opportunity would be really good, because I really like the company. I love the workouts. And some of you may have seen the post that I just put up. I finally followed a nutrition program and a program all the way through, and it was pretty easy in a sense, and it got great results too. So I didn't quit even though I wasn't doing it, because I have a really amazing feeling about this business. I really do. And thanks, Vanessa, for keeping me on track. So what I'm going to talk about with coaching, that's my short and sweet story, is what everybody wants to know: how to make money. And there's really 4 ways that you make money as a Beachbody coach. One of them is going to make complete sense, and the other ones are a little jumbled, and they go into a lot of different stuff. So I'll try to explain it in the best way I can, and if anyone has questions, we can try to answer them. So the first way that we as coaches make money is based off of commission. So whenever we help a customer and they buy a workout program, or they buy Shakeology, or any of the other performance lines that Beachbody has, we get 25% commission off that. And so you can even just make a decent like side business going on if you're just purely working off commission, which is really, really nice. So if you're helping a couple people a month buy programs, I mean, that's, a couple extra $100 a month, which is awesome. The second way that we make money are something called cycle bonuses. Now this gets into where you build a team underneath you. So you have a coach. So you are a coach, and then you sign up other coaches underneath you. And really, all the rest of the ways that you earn money in this, you need to there's ranks in this business, and that goes with any network marketing. But our first rank you can reach is called an emerald, and that's when you have 2 coaches signed up underneath you. So once you reach emerald, then you can start getting all these other bonuses. And so what a cycle bonus is when you're an emerald, you get bonuses based on your team volume. So the volume of, not commissions, but the volume of what you're selling. It's almost dollar to dollar, kind of, maybe a little bit less. Whatever the team below you is selling, once you reach a certain point of that, it cycles, I believe, every day. Is that correct, Vanessa? 1 time a week? Sorry. Okay, so once a week it cycles. And I don't want to get into this too much, but you have...
Yeah, keep it super simple, okay. I think.
Let's just do that real quick.
It gets complicated.
Yeah, it gets really complicated. It took me like a year to figure it out. But anyways, people underneath you are helping people. So then you get and it's a small bonus. It's like $14, something like that. But it's still a little bit. And if you build up really well, then that'd be good for you. So then the second one the third way we make money is something called matching bonuses. So if you're an emerald and you have a team under you and you have an emerald coach under you, if that emerald coach makes a certain amount, you get a little bonus from the company, not from that coach, of 10%. So if I have an emerald coach underneath me that made $500 in a team bonus or a cycle bonus, I'd get 50 just because Beachbody gives it to you. And then the last way is something called a quarterly bonus. And now this is based on higher ranks in the business. There's something called diamond. And once you get to 2-star diamond, 5-star diamond, 10-star diamond, 15-star diamond, then you get quarterly bonuses, which is actually a portion of the total income of Beachbody that Beachbody brings in. And it's divided among all those coaches of those ranks, and you get a piece of that. So I know those last ones are a little kind of far-fetching, but that's the ins and outs really quickly of how we make money as coaches. So I'll pass it on to.
I just kind of want to just jump in because I know that can get a little bit crazy. So really, if you simplify it even more, there's 2 ways you make money. One is by your own sales, and 2 is how well you train your team, basically. So the more you're helping your team do better in their own businesses, the more you benefit in your own business as well. So it doesn't do you any good to only focus on yourself, which is kind of one of the things that I love about this business. The better you do helping your team grow, the better you do. If that makes sense. Helping other people helps yourself as well. So that's all. Sorry, I'll stop talking, but those are the basics there. Okay, and then Becky, right? You're next? Okay.
Yeah. So just hi, Becky, and I started coaching in, say, October of 2015, if I remember correctly, and my very first program was Rock and Body that I bought from Groupon, and Vanessa actually hit me up to be in a challenge group like 2 weeks later. I was like, this is the perfect timing. It's meant to be. So then after I had done that challenge group and I had great results, she asked me to be a coach, and I'm pretty sure I said no a couple of times. I wasn't ready. And then I finally jumped in because I wanted to help people find what I had found, which was programs and nutrition that works, because I've always been overweight my whole life. And, that comes with all of like the mental, putting yourself down issues. And that actually leads us into my topic, which is one of the biggest no's we hear is because people, well, I'm not fit enough or I'm not perfect. And I'm here to tell you that neither am I, and neither is anybody that I know that does this job. So it is something that I still work on, but one of the really big things with that is doing your personal development. It's like they set this company up to help you overcome the issues that you're having, which I've always found to be pretty awesome too. So yeah, what it comes down to is that you want to lead your people with your imperfections, because they want someone that they can relate to, someone that, they can, when they tell you something, like say they had a bad day, you can be like, okay, so did I. So let's go ahead and be better tomorrow. They don't want someone necessarily that's going to always be perfect every single day. So I finally got to this point. I was probably more of like a hobby coach or a more discount until I went to Summit this year with Vanessa. And I was just kind of looking around, and it's amazing to see all of the different people and all of the different sizes and, you know, just from everywhere, and everyone's just working together to try and help people get happier and healthier. So that's kind of a really, really brief thing because my intro kind of led right into my topic. So.
Love it. Thanks, Becky. And then Amanda is going to go last, and Amanda is basically a brand new coach. It's been a month and 6 weeks, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months. And Amanda is doing amazing. And so she's going to give us her little story, and then a little bit about being a new coach and kind of what a coach is and what a coach isn't.
Yeah. So, so my story with Beachbody is about 2 years ago. I went back and scanned all of our messages, Vanessa, to see what the timeline actually was. So it was about 2 years ago. Vanessa messaged me on Facebook and was like, "Hey, do a challenge group, you know, the invite, that Vital Behavior." And I was like, how much is it? Because I'm super cheap, like really cheap. And we were at that time, I mean, we still are, but at the time we're on a super. Anyways, she told me, and we actually had just gotten an elliptical in the garage that was super on sale. We sold a car, and anyways, I was like, I'm gonna hold off. I got my elliptical. I'm gonna be cool. So I did that for a year, and like, you know, the same old story. Oh, it kind of worked, but not really. I didn't have any like super guidance. And so that made a huge difference. So then about a year later, then the following July, Vanessa messaged me again. She goes, "Hey, just checking in. Do you want to, you know, you're thinking about the challenge group?" And at that time, I was like, you know what? Yes. I was training at 29 that summer, and I was just like, there's no reason not to at this point. So, anywho, so I did my first challenge group a year ago, last summer, last July, and had awesome results, but I was really intense about it. Like I did the workouts every day, and I don't think I ever cheated once on the diet, to be honest. Like it was a bit compulsive. But because of that, I lost like 12 to 15 pounds in that month in that challenge group, and I was hooked. I was like, all right, we're doing this. And so at the end of the challenge group, Vanessa asked me to be a coach, and I was like, nope, holding back again. I'm not ready for that. You know, it's like, I got too much stuff going on. It's not going to happen. She's like, okay, fine. That's cool. Anyways, and then I was really close to doing it then, but I couldn't follow through. So then fast forward to this summer, she's like, hey, just checking in. Dude, she's really good at that like year check-in mark. It's really very funny, actually. Anyways, she's like, hey, just thought I'd throw it at you again. And this time I was like, all right, let's do it. You know, why? I don't know why I waited that full year, honestly, looking back at it. I should have done it after I did the challenge group. Just because it's not as intimidating as you think. Yes, there are hard things about it. Don't get me wrong. But it's not as like, okay, if I'm going to do this, it's going to be all time consuming, and it's just scary to talk to people and put myself out there and all these different things. And it is all those things, but not on the level that should scare you away. So, anyways, what coaching is for me and what it isn't. What it is for me has been an awesome opportunity to get back in touch with my friends. I'm awful at keeping in touch with people. And I moved here to Oregon. I'm originally from Virginia, like almost 4 years ago, and have pretty much lost touch with everybody out there, here and there. But that has probably been one of my biggest takeaways about being a coach is that because of that vital behavior, the invites, I think I've gone like 50-50. 50 of them I invite, and 50 of them I'm just getting in touch with. And it's just been so rewarding to get to know my friends again. And see where they are in their lives. And it's even a super big bonus when I get a chance to help them. What coaching isn't, or at least what our team believes in, it isn't about making people fulfill your goals. So when you're a coach, you have goals like, I want, X amount of income to help with that, or I want, to help these many people. And what it really boils down to is the helping the people. That is what coaching is about. It's not about, I got to make $400 I got to make $100 a week this month. Otherwise there's no point, otherwise I have to sell this much Shakeology a month. What the point is when you finish a challenge group, I just finished my first challenge group, a message from one of my clients, and they're like, hey, thanks for doing that. I know I wasn't super active on the Facebook page, but I really appreciated your daily posts and motivation because it made me do it. I could see that, and it was my reminder. And that's what coaching is about. That's what makes the difference. And so, yeah, it's scary. Yes, coaching is making yourself vulnerable. It totally is. But you can control that. You can decide how vulnerable you're going to be. And it is not about trying to make people do anything. It's their choice. So anyways, if you ever think about it. There's no reason not to. And if you're not ready, you're not ready. But I will tell you that one of my biggest regrets is not doing it a year ago, a year ago. Yeah. Anyways, so there's my thing.
Perfect. Thanks, Amanda. I think, obviously I really relate to everything you guys are saying because you're my people, right? That's why we're a team. But I think for me, that's what's been so huge about coaching. I kind of started my business thinking about myself. I wanted to help people because I love programs, but I also wanted this business to be really successful. And as I've kind of stepped back and learned to just appreciate helping people and love that part of it, it's been so fulfilling, so much less stressful, so much more fun, and I've been more successful because that's just how it works. You need to be in it to help people, and it's such an amazing way to be able to help people. It's not something sketchy. You're not selling weird stuff. You're selling a real solution to health and fitness, and you're selling yourself and friendship, basically, which is silly because I never thought I needed like online friends. But I love it. I never thought I was going to be this person that was like I have random friends from the internet that I have never met that I feel really close to. And that seemed so crazy to me when I started that people would say that. I was like, they're making it up. No one makes real friends on the internet. But it's true. And I think that getting in these groups and being vulnerable, is an amazing way to kind of change ourselves and to help change other people's lives. So that's kind of the basics of what we wanted to talk about, just to kind of present everything. The other two things, if you are feeling like you want to do it and you're like, yes, let's do it right now, talk to whoever invited you to this call and we can kind of walk you through the steps. It's pretty simple. There's a couple different ways to sign up. You can do it with buying a program. You can do it without buying a program. Whatever works for you. And we can kind of talk through details individually if you have with me or Shanna or Becky or Amanda. And it's really kind of an exciting time. Right now, there only are coaches. You can only be a coach in the US and Canada. But very, very soon, and I'm terrible, I need to look up the date. Did anybody look it up? Anybody know what it is?
I think it's next month, but
okay,
I don't.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's October. It might be the end of October. We're actually opening up into the UK. So this is kind of a huge time. There's a whole new market of people that really have been like dying to get in on this. That are there ready and waiting. We are all kind of working together as a team. So we're going to start, we'll be doing some training together to kind of help you get started. And really, we have all the information. You don't have to know what you're doing really at all. We will teach you. So I don't want to keep you guys on here too long, but does anybody have any questions that they want to ask or that they've thought of, want to ask to the group, or you can, of course, ask us individually after, but. No. Okay, that's like super long pause. That's what you're supposed to do. I was teaching for a little while in college, and they're like, you need to count to like 15, which that wasn't that long, because then it makes people feel super awkward, and so then they'll answer or ask you questions, but it makes me too uncomfortable, so I never wait that long. Anyway, so please let us know if you guys are interested. I did record this call, so it will be available if you want to watch it again. I'll share it with these guys once I get the recording processed and things, so we can share it, and we'll go from there. So thanks so much, you guys, for jumping on, and I hope this was informative. And if you have feedback just about the call or things you would have wanted to know, let us know so that we can get better at these, because we want to help you. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.